Hey guys, it's Ben with Myers Woodshop. Today we have a new style printer in the shop. It is FLSun Delta Q5. This is the Delta style where it's really tall but kind of narrow, and it's got 3 arms that move. So I'm really excited to check this out. Haven't had anything in the shop like it yet. So let's open this up and see how it's boxed. And here's all you get in the package. At the bottom, the top, a bunch of little arms. The full extruder is put together. The hot end is put together. And we have 3 rails with motors pre-assembled. I finished assembling it. It was super fast. So we have one cable that says level in here. That's not going to be plugged in anything right now. You're going to plug it into this little thing when you level the bed, and it'll automatically level. Let's hope that works really well. There is one issue though, and I turn it around and you can read up here. It says this power supply is set for 220. If you are in 110, contact us. We'll let you know how to flip it. I'm in 110. I'm not in 220. The power supply is in this top piece. So I'm going to have to take this whole thing off. It does look like there's 4 screws up on the top, and flip the switch inside to 110. Always check your printers for 110, 220. If you ever have an issue with that, it's probably just an easy switch on the power supply. When you do that, do not plug the machine in. Make sure it's unplugged before you mess with that. If it doesn't come on, you may be switched to one of the other settings and you need to switch it to your country. So I'm going to take that apart, flip that switch, and then we'll keep going. As it turns out, I didn't need to take off the top. I just had to flip the top over, and it's got a little slider in here. You can see it says 115, 220. So I took an Allen key and I reached down and I just flicked it over into the 115 position for my country. So you don't have to take the top off to get that off. All right, now we're going to attach the filament holder. I've got 2 screws. We're going to have the lip face away from the front of the screen. What I do like about this machine is that every screw that you are going to personally screw in, or every bolt that you're going to personally screw in, is exactly the same size. You don't have to look through a bag of different size bolts. Yeah, they are all exactly the same, which makes it very easy to install. And once we install that, we have two little ones that go on the little support arm for our filament. And they go in this way. So let me sum up the experience this far. It's been fantastic. It's very fast. If I wasn't recording, it would probably take me 10 minutes to install this whole thing together. The instructions are literally one insert page, but they're very, very high resolution pictures. They're very clear English, which is impressive, and it shows exactly where everything needs to go. Again, the bolts are all exactly the same size that you're going to be installing from the plastic baggie, so you don't have to worry about what bolt goes where. Just grab one and go, because they're all exactly the same. The wiring was fairly easy. Everything is color coded, especially by the hot end, so that's very nice. I do have 3 empty holes up top where bolts could go, and I do have 5 extra bolts. So I don't know where those go, or maybe they're just spares. A lot of times they send spares, so we'll see. So now we'll go ahead and turn it on. Make sure, again, that you're switched to 110 if you're in 110, or 220 if you're in 220, because this ships 220. And we'll go ahead and level the bed with this little auto leveler and see how well it does. Don't forget, we have to peel off the heat bed protective coating. And then we got to peel off the screen protective coating. Okay, we're plugged in, and we'll turn it on. Booting. You can see we have the hot end, the bed, and the fan. Preheat, tool, set, and print. So let's go into tool. We have preheat, extrude, move, home, auto level, change. Let's check out more. We have size 1, size 1 the other way. Curvature. Those are new things that I've never seen before. We have set, fan, continue, language, sea level, erase, I don't know what that is. The extruder motor's off. We have the about. We can see our version is 2.5. And then we have print, but I have no SD card in there. And it takes us back to home. The SD card is 4 gigabytes. I'm going to put it into the back. We have our USB and SD slot. The SD card is a micro SD, and it's 4 gigs, and it goes face up, and it does snap in. We're back to the screen. So we can click on print, see if we have anything here. We have some tests. I don't like how this is. I've had some other printers that say the same thing. You can't read it all because the wording is too small. So we have some pictures. We have some other files of pictures and software. So this does come with some software already preloaded on the SD card, but we're going to be using more than likely Cura anyway, and this is probably super outdated. So for now, let's go ahead and home the machine and auto level it. First thing it says to do is clean off the board with some isopropyl alcohol. Clean off the bed with some isopropyl alcohol. So we'll just rub it down a little bit. Just like that. Yellow stuff will come off. It is the stickiness of this sticky part, but usually they're too sticky, so we do not heat the nozzle. Then we plug in the leveling switch mode. So we take this and we grab that little white wire that is plugged into nothing, and we plug it in, and then it's going to magnet onto here. How does it go on? Oh, it goes on this way. Fits into this little slot. Remove the leveling switch module before click move Z. Tie the leveling wire with a cable tie. Why would I plug that in and then unplug it? Well, that doesn't make any sense. We're going to click on Tool. We're going to click on Auto Level. And we're going to click Auto Level again. PLS plug, please, PLS, plug in the leveling switch module before Auto Level. It's plugged in. Hit Confirm. We're going to home itself. When it hits the bed, it'll glow blue. Just like that. It just finished and now it's flashing Move Z. So before we do that, we're going to remove this leveling cable because we don't need that anymore. We're going to get a piece of paper and put it on the board like that. We're going to click Move Z. Please remove the leveling switch. We've already done that. It levels itself and now it's going to come down. Now we're going to click on Adjust Z. And we're going to do the old normal bed leveling. And negative is down, positive is up. So that's that one. And we're going to hit Save. So we finished how far away it needs to be in the center. Accidentally hit it twice. So we're going to go back. So that's our Z offset. Now we're going to go back to preheat. We're going to click on extruder. What do we do? We're going to go all the way back and hit preheat, preheat PLA, and now it's going to heat the nose to 210 and the bed to 50. So we finished heating. Now we got to load the filament. So with our filament, we'll do the sample filament. We're going to click here and just pull, and then we're going to slide the filament in here. And then we'll take our thumb and just spin it like this. And the filament is traveling down this yellow tube, or traveling down the white tube into the hot end. And at some point, we'll start to see some filament come out the tip. Looks like we had a little bit filament come out the tip already. They may have tested it in the factory. We've got a long way to go with our thumb because we're filling the filament pipe up there. You can see we have filament coming out, so we've loaded it all the way. filaments start to ooze out, which means we have it properly loaded. So now we can start a test print. All right, we're ready. Our filament is still oozing out a little bit, but we're ready to try a print. So we'll hit back, we'll go to print, and it looks like we have a test elephant and a test knuckle ring. We're gonna do the elephant. We'll hit continue. And now it's already preheated. We gotta heat the bed from 50 to 60, and then it'll just go ahead and fill it up. We're not exactly sure if we'll have enough filament or what this is, so I guess we'll see. It changes if we hit the options. It gives us a whole lot more options. We can live Z, so that's a really big deal on printers, to be able to move it up and down as it's printing. It's a really big deal to get that first layer perfect. So here it goes. It's starting to put out some filament, and I'll zoom you in on that. This thing is so quiet. It's quieter than my Prusa's, and very fast. Okay, our elephant is done. Let's see, I let it cool, see if I can pull it off. No, that's a no-go. Cannot pull it off. It is pretty sticky. So we're gonna take the spatula they gave. Oh my goodness. I cannot get it off. And this is completely cool to the touch, and it's still, I still can't get it off. That is stuck. Ugh. Wow. All right, we're gonna try just a pair of pliers popping it off. I am breaking the filament itself, but I don't really have another option at this point. Ugh. Cracking the infill. There's very little infill in here. Okay, started to get it off, but I kind of cracked the print. Should allow me to get the rest of it off. Here's our print. You can see there's very little infill. I kind of broke it trying to pry it off. There's almost no infill in there. I can bend it in. But the layer lines are near non-existent. I can almost not see any. I can see through out here, but it did the FLSun really, really well. It does have a little bit of, ironically, elephant foot, where the first layer is a little squished. So maybe my live Z wasn't perfect. But good night, that bed is sticky. So we're gonna hit it with a little bit more alcohol to try to dissolve the stickiness on here, to remove some, because it's just too sticky right now. But first print is pretty good if I didn't destroy it trying to get it off. So far, so good. All right, so that is the FLSun Q5. We saw how to set it up, and we did a few prints. The test print came out perfectly. It screws on and off perfectly. It is a super high quality print for this machine. I'm super impressed with how quiet this is without being a quiet printer.
Yeah.
With the silent drivers, it's a silent printer. No matter what you have going on, it's quiet. So
Like, it was quieter than your Prusa.
At some point, yes.
And this thing does not have silent drivers.
Yeah, which is crazy.
No sense.
It makes no sense, and it's faster than my Prusas. From what I understand, these 3-armed, I can't remember what this type of printer is called. Delta printer, yes. These 3-armed Delta printers are generally faster than your traditional bed-moving printer. I like the footprint that this takes up. It's got a decent build volume for the footprint of what it is. It looks like you could print all the way to the top. Don't be deceived by that. When this is at the very top, your print bed is from the bottom of this nozzle to the bed, so it's only down here. One negative of this printer is that it does not have a filament sensor. There are 3 things in every printer that I think is a mandatory. Silent drivers, which this doesn't have, but it's silent. Filament sensor.
And live Z.
And a live Z adjust. It does have the live Z adjust. It doesn't have silent drivers, but it is very silent, and it doesn't have a filament sensor, which is a super bummer.
Yeah.
But I'm almost going to give this printer a pass because it excels in every other thing in the shop. And Pete has been selling these hose booms for the Onefinity CNC, and we have been running this thing literally from the moment I got it 2 months ago till just a few days ago, to where it literally didn't have 5 minutes of shutdown time. It was on the entire time,
for
only
months.
Printing these 4 months. This is the only thing it printed, and it did not screw up a single time. And other than when I wouldn't watch the filament because it didn't have a filament sensor, it would start printing air. But outside of that, it never screwed up. And we printed PETG the entire time, which is a harder material to print basically than PLA. So fantastic. And the print quality compared to your other printers, what would you say?
Yeah, I would say it's better than the Mingda. And better than the Mega S, the Anycubic Mega S, for the layer quality, and it's really good.
Print quality on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best printer you own, whatever that is.
I would say probably 7.5 to 8.
Yeah, for the price of this thing, for that quality.
Yeah.
It's very good, but it just proved itself to be a freaking workhorse. You put in the file, you click print, and it will be done, and then it will work, and it will just do that for months on end. So, super impressed.
Having a printer that you can trust is huge.
How many printers have we owned total? Like 50?
Yeah.
And there's only a handful of printers that I'm going to click print, and when it's done, it's going to be the whatever I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a huge deal in a printer, and this one has that. It does come with that probe to probe for the Z on the bed, and that works really well. Just don't lose this. That would be a bummer. That's basically it. It's just a very, very good printer. Hands down, a very good printer. The one other thing about the printers that isn't a physical thing about the machine is the slicer settings. And is it pre-configured where I just select the printer and I just print? Or do I have to figure out a bunch of settings to make the file to print? This one does not exist as of November 2020 in Cura. The Q5 is not in there, but the FLSun QQ is. So what you do is make it think that you have a QQ and just change the bed size to the bed size of this, which is 200 by 200, and it will print perfectly. So that's how you get around it. That's as close as you can get without actually being a selectable one in Cura. But I find the default settings for Cura for that machine, after changing the build size, is the only thing you would need to modify. Prints super well.
Yep.
Super well. I haven't adjusted any belts. I've done no maintenance whatsoever to this machine, and I guarantee if I turned it on and click print, it would have a successful print right after this, and it'd be beautiful. So I am going to highly recommend this printer. It is a fantastic printer. It is in my top 6 printers that have come through the shop. Right now, I have 3 printers before this that I actually print daily. That's going to be the Prusa MK3S, the Prusa Mini, and only because of its format and size is the Artillery Sidewinder X1. This is number 4 in the list. This is 4th in my queue. For you, if this was in your shop, you have the Prusa MK3S and the Prusa Mini.
Yep.
Then you have some other ones. Would this be number 3 for you, or?
Yeah, I would. I have the MK3S, the Mini, the Creality Ender 3, the Mingda, and I have the Anycubic Mega S. And this would go right after the Prusas for sure.
Yeah, it's that good.
Yep.
So if you're watching this and you're wondering what a printer, and you want a small format, you don't have a lot of room to put it, you don't have like the floor space to fit a normal size printer, and you're wanting to get into printing and you don't want to tinker, which goes hand in hand with 3D printers, this is the printer for you. It's fantastic. It's very good, and I think you should buy it.
I'm Peter with RowdyRoman.com.
And I'm Ben with Myers Woodshop, and if you like this video, it helped you out, hit that thumbs up, click subscribe. We'll see you with more 3D printer videos. As you can see, I have more coming along the way, and as always, happy printing.